Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to go ahead and use an AI generation tool that will allow us to create these AI images. As you can see, all of these images I have created today, and I'm using the 3080 Ti graphics card, and it takes about 20 seconds to generate any one of these images. So as you can see, these images are very much detailed, and it is very amazing how it can produce this in just 20 seconds. The realism here is out of the world. So I'm going to share all the steps how exactly can you achieve this on your PC, and you can download and install the app, and then you can run all these prompts. And the best thing is that of course it will be free because you will be using your own local environment and you will be using your own graphic card. So you can use different models as well and different auras to actually give you better results. Actually, let me go through these images a bit so that you can understand the prompts as well. So this one was quite simple, that a man is standing on the moon. This one was of a girl, but with the anime style rather than the regular one. And this was the same as well. Now, this is the interesting one where the prompt is basically a simple prompt of a girl, but the style is of low poly. So if you're not familiar with what low poly is, it's basically where you have low poly count. So that's the basic idea. And here you can see this is the image as well that it generated. And this is a simple image where we gave the prompt that it's a girl, rough hair, no makeup, and realistic and stuff like that. And you can see how good that is. You can see the hair strings, all of these around, and it tells that there is a great amount of detail within these models. Then this was the same prompt, different image, and as you can see it is quite good as well. Then this was more animated, and there were a few styles that were given in so that it generates something like this. It was artistic as well, anime, and a few of these fantasy styles added as well. This was a cute monster looking directly in the camera, stuff like that. And you can see there's quite a bit of detail around as well. It's not just giving the monster, it's giving the layout of the monster where it is present. It is giving that quite good as well. Now this one was a bit tricky. It was anime as well as realistic, with freckles, no makeup, and some details. And as you can see, you can even see some baby hairs as well. So it is quite detailed, and again this was generated in just 20 seconds. So this is amazing how far we have gone AI. This was the same prompt. You can see it's quite similar. Then we have some shoes. These are not perfect, but they are good enough. And these balls here, these bubbles, they are quite good as well. Then this prompt was more towards sci-fi, and I can see it generated the sci-fi image. Now this is an interesting one because here we said that the model should have a rough skin, and as you can see the skin is quite rough and it is quite realistic. As you can see here, the shades, the shining, the contrast is amazing. And we had another image, there you go, that's another one, and as you can see the detail is amazing. Then we had a few with surprises. We wanted the model to actually be more shocked rather than surprised, so we changed the prompt a bit, and there you go, that's the result we got, and it is quite good. You can see this one is a bit weird. This one, the eye is not perfect. You can see that there is an issue here. If you do get some issues like this, what you can do is you can use the Inpaint function. You can remove this part and you can tell it to generate only this part as well. So we'll have a look at how we can do that as well. So then this is the low poly count style, and as you can see that is quite good as well. And this is amazing. This is a realistic burger. As you can see, it is quite juicy, and you can see all the cheese dripping, and we have some pickle and we have fries. At the back end we have a burger as well. So all of this comes together very nicely and neatly. It is quite amazing that the same model that is producing this burger is producing the image of this woman in a low poly count and these realistic images as well. So that's the beauty of generating these genetic models that can perform in a variety of situations. So all of these are generated from the exact same model. So again, we have some sci-fi images. This is more towards comic. So the prompt was that it's a girl but looking in the camera, but it is in comic style. and we had a moon at the back with some clouds, so it is pretty good. And this prompt, I believe I used from an online source. It was a very long prompt, and it is amazing how well this works. Truly amazing. So then we do have something controversial. So here I thought that, okay, let's add a name and let's add a famous name. And there I wrote the name of Emma Stone, and it generated this image which looks very, very similar to her. So I would say at least 70 to 80% it looks like her, and it is very realistic. And if I look at the other image, again, there is a lot of resemblance to her face. Now, this is a controversial topic. What exactly does this infer? What can you do with this? It's very dangerous as well, and it is something we need to debate. And then I tried it with GTA style. So there was a style by the name GTA, the game GTA, and as you can see, it is quite realistic and it is quite good. Like the framing of it and the overall aspect ratios and everything looks very good. The second one here did not work as well because the turning point is too much, I believe. It's a little bit too much, but overall it works very well. You can definitely tell that it's Emma Stone. This was an interesting one because I gave in my own image. So this was the image that I gave in, and as you can see, it is actually the same pose, but it is in GTA style. The framing and the hair is pretty much similar to what you can see here. So what you can do is you can give in your own image and it can generate a different style as well for that image with the same pose and the same type of clothing and glasses and hair and all that. Now, of course, it depends as well how much of a change you want. If you want subtle changes, then of course the face will be more similar and the clothing and all that. So this was the same prompt and it generated these two images. Then we have again GTA style, but you can see he has unlimited fingers here. So that's something weird. This was the same prompt, man holding a gun, shooting, and this was GTA style as well. This image was related to a woman jumping off a plane and shooting a gun, but it didn't actually take into account the plane. It did draw it here, but the woman is not coming out of that. So I believe if we play around with the prompts a bit, it would work. But this image is not very useful because here you can see you have some skin problems. Here you have the nose problem. So it's overall, it's not that great because here even the pocket is weird. We definitely have some problems with this image. Then we have an earth inside a diamond, so preserved. This one is a different style. Here we said that it should be a sketch of a woman drawing a sketch of another woman who is drawing the sketch of another woman. So it didn't actually get the context of it. But here you can see this is the style that it got, and this time around it's a little bit better, but it did not go to the second or third iteration of the drawing. This one was tricky. This was again a plane flying, but a car coming out of the plane, but it was not able to do that. But this one, yeah, it tried to do something similar, but it's difficult to say what's going on. And here you can see this is quite similar to an Audi, but we did not actually tell it to draw this car. We just said that the car is coming out of a plane and that it drew this car by itself. Then we have this very realistic image of a woman smoking, and the zoom in is on the lips, and as you can see it is very detailed. And if you just zoom in and see, you can see the baby hairs as well over here as well. You can see these slight hairs around. It is very realistic how it has drawn all of that. The smoke is really good. The cigarette itself might have been better, but overall the skin tone, the roughness of it is amazing. This one was, yeah, dragon attacking a city or destroying a city. So it is pretty good, and you can see it looks like a scene from a movie. So it is pretty good and realistic as well, I would say. If you zoom in, you can see some problems here and there, but overall, because it's a scene with a lot of things moving around, I would say it is pretty good. Then this is one of the other prompts that I used from online, and it was a cute cat drinking milk from a straw, from a glass, something like that. And as you can see, it is a kitten, very cute, and you can see the lighting is amazing and the overall image context of it is amazing. Here I tried to do the same thing, but I changed the style to be animated, and this is what it got. Same thing here, animated. That's pretty good. This is more of a fantasy city, and that's the same one as well. This I tried to see if it understood some of the main characters like Spider-Man and Harry Potter. So I told them to just shake hands. So as you can see, when it's shaking the hand, it's good. But then you can see some of the costume is gone from the fingers. And then for some reason, Harry Potter is also wearing Spider-Man shirt, which we did not define, but he's wearing his own clock. That is good. Then this was not realistic, and it generated these two images. So what we did was, we said, okay, so it's not realistic, then let's tell it to be more realistic and cinematic. And then it went totally different way. And it's surprising to see that, again, when it comes to the handshake, the costume stays before the handshake, and after it on the fingers, it's not just there. But the image is quite realistic, and you can see even the strings on the clothing, amazing. Here you can see the hairs and the light shining on the hairs. That is pretty good. For some reason, they made Harry Potter black in this instance. Then the color tone changes here. Again, it's not very consistent. So the idea is that you have to be very specific with your prompts, not just Harry Potter shaking hand with Spider-Man. So yeah, these were some of the images that we tried out. Some of the prompts, as you can see, they are quite good, and some of them give very good results. So now let's go ahead and look at how exactly can we install this and how we can run this on your own PC. So what we are using today is the Fooocus software, and what we will do is we are simply going to download it and install. So as you can see, this is the GitHub repo, and thanks to all of the contributors who made this possible and made it so easy that it is accessible to pretty much anyone who has a computer and a graphic card. So here you can see they are comparing themselves to Midjourney and all that, and there you go. So for Windows, you can simply click here to download, but whenever I do that, I believe my antivirus software deletes it for some reason, or maybe there's another issue. I'm not really sure what happened, but it's not able to download it properly. By the way, if you download it and it works for you, then you can simply download and click on the run.bat. Once it runs, it will download the default models. The default model it is using, you can check here and click on that, and there you go. It is using the Juggernaut XL, so version number 6, so it will download it automatically, and it will also download one of the LoRa's so that you get more focused on the realistic part. And then you have to do is you have to wait for it to install, and it will work fine. Then I will show you what to do after that. If that doesn't work for you, what you can do is, if you have already installed Python and PyCharm, you can go to that. So here we have a PyCharm environment, and what you can do is you open it up, and I haven't installed anything here. What you can do is you can click on this arrow and then go to command prompt, and here you can see now we are in our virtual environment. In our virtual environment, we are going to copy this git clone github Fooocus kit, and it will download. There you go. Now you can see it has been downloaded, and you can see all these files over here. The next step is very simple. All you have to do is you have to install the dependencies. So in order to install our requirements, all we have to do is pip install requirements. So here we will paste them, and it is not able to find this file because it's not in the same folder. So what you can do is you can simply write go to Fooocus folder. There you go, and then you can simply hit pip install, and then it will start the installation process. So as you can see, the installations have been completed. Then all you have to do is you have to run entry with updates. So what this will do is it will download the files as well. So they are big files, it will take a while to download. So all you have to do is you have to make sure you are in the same folder, and you can write Python and run it, or you can double click this here and you can right click it and run entry with update. So there you go. Right now it will start the installation of Torch and Torch Vision, and then it will also download the required models that will allow us to generate these images. So I have already done that previously. That's why it's using the cached version, and you can see it says already satisfied. It is uninstalling and installing it. So here we have our PyCharm project by the name Focus Demo Project, and what we can do is we can go to the terminal, and here we will go to our command prompt so that we are using the virtual environment. And here we are going to copy in the Linux part, you can see git clone. We are just going to copy that, and here we are going to paste it. So what this will do is it will copy all the GitHub files, and then we can actually run it. There you go. So all the files are here now in Fooocus. So what we can do is we can go inside the Fooocus directory. So cd Fooocus. There you go. So now we are in the Fooocus directory. And if we open that up, you will see that there is a requirements underscore versions.txt. So it actually tells us all the requirements, what we have to install. So what we can do is we can just write a command to install it. And here the command is given, pip install our requirements version.txt. So we will simply enter it and it will start the installation process. The reason it's doing it quite fast here is because I have done this before and it has cached all of these different libraries. So that's why it is able to collect and install very quickly. But for you, it might take a while to install, especially the torch and the torch vision. It might take a while and it might take a while to download those. So there you go. As you can see, all of the installations are done. And now what we can do is we can simply go ahead and run this file entry with update. So you can write here Python and then entry with update, or you can simply right click and run. So it's pretty much the same thing. So what this will do is it will actually download the models for us automatically. And because here, if you go to models and checkpoints, there are no models here, and if we go to LoRa's, then there are no LoRa's here as well. So it is going to download and install torch vision and all that. So it will take a while. So there you go. As you can see, now it has started to download from the Hugging Face. It is downloading the Juggernaut XL version 6. So that is the one that it is downloading, and it's about 6 GBs. So it will take a while to download this. Now, one more thing we can do is if you already have downloaded those from the Hugging Face, you can simply drag and drop here. So I have that done and I'm going to stop this. And what I will do is I will bring them in. So I will go ahead and paste it here. And then I will also go to the LoRa's, and here I'm going to paste as well. So here I will paste this. There you go. And what we can do now is we can run this again, entry with update, and it will check whatever is remaining. It is going to download this so that we can run it properly. So there we have it. Now you can see it's almost done and it has opened up this. So as you can see, it is at 127.0.0.1:7866. So if it doesn't open automatically, what you can do is you can click on this. It will tell you where exactly is it hosting it. So you can click on that and you can see that over here, you can see it has detected the NVIDIA GeForce 3080 Ti. So that's the graphic card that we will be using. And you can see we have the VRAM of about 12 GBs and we have the total RAM of 32 GBs. So the idea is that if you have more than 6 VRAM, then it should be fine. You should be able to run it. So there you have it. We have our Foocus, and here what we can do is we can simply write whatever prompt that we want. So here we can write child playing in the park, and right away you can see we just hit press, we just hit generate, and it will generate the image for us. So there you go. So by default it is going to generate 2 images. You can change that to 1, and it is using 30 iterations. So if you want, you can increase that. There you go. This is the image it has generated right away. All we did was write a kid playing in the ground, and there you go. We have another one. So as you can see, it is taking about 20 seconds. So if you look here, this one was 11 seconds, this one was 10 seconds. So because we didn't change a lot of parameters, that's why it's doing it really fast. There you go. So we can see a kid is playing with something, and the fingers, they're always bad. So you have to be very careful when you're playing around with the fingers. So now what exactly can you do with it? You can do a lot of stuff. Now where to begin? First of all, you can click on advanced, and here you can see you have the options of performance. So here I recommend you go for quality rather than speed. And then you have the aspect ratios, and we have a good aspect ratio. It's not a bad image, it's an HD image, as you can see. So you can select this, whatever size you want, you can do that. And then here is the number of images that you want. So if you want to generate one only, then you right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you want. And then here we have the negative prompt. So here you can write things like it should not be out of focus, it should not have any glare, or things like that that you don't want. And then what you have here are the styles. So these are the styles that you can use. So if we go up and we remove the current styles, we go to comic, and there you go, we have the comic book, and we press generate again, then it will generate in a comic book style. So this is a very interesting part where you can actually see generating the image, and it is quite fun to see. So it is now going to go to 60 samples, because 60 iterations, because we preferred quality over speed. So when you press quality, it will go till 60 frames, 60 iterations. So there you go. This is an image. It looks like it came right out of a book, and it looks quite good. And then we have another image being generated with the same prompt. Let's wait for it, and there you have it. So the eyes are not very good, but still it looks good. Okay, so then what you can do is you can go to style again, and you can change different styles. So you have the GTA that I was referring to, the game GTA. Then you have futuristic, you have cinematic, you have neopunk. So there's a lot of different variations you can do, and the one that I really like is the low poly that we saw earlier as well. So there's a lot of variations that you can do here. Then we also have the model. So here you can see it is using the Juggernaut XL, and it is using the LoRa, which is offset example SDXL. Now the thing is that if you're not familiar with LoRa, it's basically when you want to tweak the model, the bigger model, you add a LoRa which has specific parameters tuned to generate some form of images. So for example, what we have here, it will produce good realistic images. Then you can also have a specific LoRa for low poly images. Then you can have for cars, then you can have for other different types of objects or different types of styles. So you can have LoRa's for that as well. So these are by default. We haven't changed any of these. So this is the image of low poly kid playing in the ground, and there you go, we have another one. So then if you go to advanced, you have the guidance scale and the image sharpness. If you want it to be more sharper, you can increase the value here. Then this is basically all the advanced stuff, and to be honest, it's not very advanced. It is very simple and very intuitive. It's something which is difficult to follow. Then let's change the prompt. Let's say woman looking at the camera. It should be realistic, no makeup, and rough, let's say here. And we will remove this, and we will focus version 2. We will make it sharp and more photographic and cinematic. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And in the settings, no need to change. Let's generate that and see what do we get. So as you can see, it is generating something. Definitely the hair are rough, and it is looking realistic. The woman itself, she's looking at the camera, which is true as well. So there you go. This is the image that it has generated, and as you can see, it is very good. So here at the edges, you can see, oh, I cannot zoom in right now. Let's wait for it to finish here. And you can see there's a good amount of bokeh as well, which makes it look very, very realistic and a bit cinematic as well. So if you remember, we added the style cinematic here. Probably that's why we have this bokeh. And this image is great as well, especially the lighting of it is amazing. The soft light that it's hitting from one side, and then there is kind of a fill light coming from this side, and it is very good. And then you have some other prop lights at the back which are helping with the bokeh, and it is amazing how good this is. And then what we can do is you can take this image as an example and generate more things with it. So how can you do that? You can go to input image, and you can create a variation of it. So basically you can have subtle variation or strong variation. But to be honest, I don't like this very much. It's basically for collecting the pose and having similar pose. But what I do like is this image prompt here. So what you can do is you can drag this in, and you can go to advanced, and here you can write face swap. Now here in face swap, you can write, for example, woman walking in the park, right? So now what it should do is it should take this woman and it should add it to walking the park. But the thing is, it will not be perfect, but it will be something to get started with. Now the thing is that whenever you use a different model, so here we are using the image prompt with face swap, so it might download some new models. So here you can see right now it's downloading this, and it will take a while because it is 1 GBs. So I have another version of it where everything is downloaded. So let me run that and we can train and we can try different things with that. So there we have it. Now we can go to image, and here in prompt we add our image. We add the image that we were using, and as I mentioned earlier, what did we write? Woman walking the park. So we will click on advance and then we'll write face swap. So let's generate and see what it gives us. So earlier it was downloading, but now we'll directly start. So there you go. This is the image that was generated. It's not very good quality and the face is kind of similar, I would say, but I believe the second image is much better in terms of replicating the face. Yeah, there you go. The hairstyle and the face features, they are quite similar, and as you can see there's a park at the back. We need to change this again to quality, and then what we can do is we can also make this, for example, in a different style, for example GTA, and with the rest of these. Let's generate that and let's see if it gives us similar results to this face. So there you go, one of the images has been created, and this one is much better than before. And as you can see, the face is very similar to what we had earlier. It looks like GTA as well because the coloring, I would say, is similar, and it is giving a little bit of realism as well, which is probably because of this image, because it's quite realistic, it's giving this as well. So that's the basic idea. And then let's say we want to do something else with this, and let me bring in my own image that I showed earlier. If we drag that in, then we can simply remove this, and all we are doing is we are giving it as an image prompt, and we are saying that it should be GTA. So if we run that, it will give us the style of GTA. So there you go. Now my face is totally changed. You can see the glasses and the beard kind of is similar. The rest of it and the size as well, you know, it sure seems that I'm quite healthy in this image. So there you go. This is the image generated. GTA style. It is definitely GTA style. And here you can see this is changed as well. The style here it says some R, and here it's Scorpion or something else. So the style has been changed as well. And let's see how well this one performs. There you go. Yeah, it does definitely look animated and kind of GTA. And one more thing you can do is you can add two images together. So let's say I had this image and now I want to merge these and see what happens. So I will not give any prompt. I am just giving the style. It should be comic, and let's see what it does. So ideally, I would say it will put me on the table, like sitting besides the table. Doesn't seem that. Let's see what happens. So this, well, it's not comic style, neither is there any table, but the environment at the back has been changed. So yeah, I guess it has me in the same environment rather than the table. So what if I write man sitting on a chair front of a wooden table? So let's see how it generates that. Actually, let's try do it without the comic and let's see what it does. So again, the idea is that you can get carried away. It's very easy to get carried away when you are experimenting with this stuff. It's very interesting to see what exactly happens. So yeah, I would say the environment looks same, but the table is not the same. So for some reason, it's not able to adapt this. So for this, it's not the best option. But again, it still works and it's good for creating fantasy images, creating new images, and even food images. Like food images that we generated were unreal, like it was shot with some extremely good cameras. Over here, I'm a different race for some reason. I'm not sure what it's trying to do here. Yeah, but it is sitting on a table, wooden chair and table. Yeah, that much it got. Anyways, let's try this. We will remove the input image and we will just add the food. Yeah, so let's say burger with fries and drink on a table. So cinematic photography, sharp cinematic. Okay, let's run that and see what do we get. So it is looking promising. We have a drink, we have some fries, some burger, and because we added cinematic, it has given that dark theme. The one I generated earlier did not have that dark theme, not this dark. So if I go back earlier, there you go. So it's quite bright, but this one, because we said cinematic, probably that's why it gave us this. And it looks really good. There are some mistakes here and there, but overall it looks really good. A little bit animated, I would say. But I believe with some tweaking, like this one is better than the previous one. With some tweaking, definitely we can get more realistic than this. Okay, so again, you can do a lot of different things. And if you don't like something specific, what you can do is you can go to image and you can go to Inpaint or Outpaint. Now you can drag the image. Let's say I want to regenerate some part. So I will drag it here. First of all, you can add and remove, so you can extend it. So for example, I can say extend on left and right. I will not write other prompt, I will just generate. There you go. So right now it's generating it on the right. It's trying to figure out what exactly could we have. So there we have it. So this is extended now, and it doesn't look extended. It looks part of the image as if it was originally generated, and now it's generating another type so that you have some variations to choose from. Now this is the first part. You can basically increase, decrease the size, and then the second thing you can do is you can regenerate. So for example, we saw that, actually let's see this image first. Okay, this is the one. No, this is the one. Yeah, both of them look really realistic. Now what we can do is, as I mentioned earlier, this part looks a little bit fake. So what we can do is we can draw over here. We can draw this part, and there you go, and then we can generate again. So what we are saying is that we didn't like this part, tell the AI to generate it again. So the good thing is it zooms in and then it shows you that it is changing things. And then at the end of the day, it will actually zoom out and give you the whole image. But while it is training, while it's creating the image, it actually zooms in and shows you that. So we're trying to fix the problem here. So if you look at it now, wow, that is really good. So earlier it wasn't that realistic. Now definitely it looks good. Yeah, and then we have another one going here. Then of course you can do things like you can remove. So you can remove this class. So how can you do that? You need to add the prompt that you need to remove this, not just change it. So what we can do is we can reset this, and then once that is done, yeah, this is the second one. So both of them are really good. This one again is a little bit tricky. It's not that good, but this one definitely it's believable. Okay, and then what we can do is we can take this, the new one, and then we can remove our glass. So we didn't like it, so we are going to say the glass. So draw, we'll fill it. There you go. And then we will say remove the glass, and we will hit generate. So let's see if it does that. So there you go. Now it is trying to do something, but it seems that it's adding the glass. It's changing it to a different one. So that's not what we want. It looks realistic though, but still we wanted to remove rather than add it. So maybe the second one will remove. Yeah, don't want that. We want it removed. No, it's still adding it. So that's not what we want. So remove the drink from the table. Let's see if that works. Now it doesn't work still. Let's stop that. Hit again. By the way, you might be wondering, where exactly are all these images going? Where are they being stored? Yeah, now it's removing the glass. So what happens is that if you go to your folder here, you can see we have models, we have outputs. So here in the outputs, you click on that, and there you can see the dates. So if I open that up, this is the one that I showed you earlier that I did, and I believe these are the ones we did today as well. So now the date has changed, so the next one, and these are the ones that we're doing now. So there you go. Yeah, it finally removed it. So it understood what we were trying to say. So basically the idea is that you have to make it understand what exactly do you want. Sometimes the prompts, they are not exactly what you expect them to be, but then of course you can change it around and you can try it. So then you can keep playing with this. You can try to have it pixel art, you can have it futuristic, sci-fi. You can change the models as well. You can download new models and you can add them to the checkpoints as I showed earlier. And this model Juggernaut does not require any refiner, so that's why we don't have it here. Otherwise, if you're using a different one, you can use the refiner as well. Then of course you can add different images together, and then if you wanted to get the pose of a person and generate an image, then you can put this second part, Pyra Cani, and what you can do is you can write here, let's say female, and then the female will have the same pose as the one that I have right now. And that's the basic idea. So there you go. Now it's generating. So it is trying to keep the same format, the same angle, and even the dressing, it's trying to keep it the same. Glasses as well. Now it's just changing it to female version, as you can see. And it is quite cinematic. Did we add cinematic? Yeah, that's why we have added the style to cinematic. If you click on it, there you go. It is quite good. So in this case, we like the image and we wanted to extend it. We can go to in out paint and remove this, and we can put it here. And then we can say we want the top because we want the hair as well. So we can just write top. And this here, the face is quite similar. And again, the main idea is that the body angle and the type is pretty much the same. So as you can see here, then we can remove this and we can hit generate, and let's see if it generates the top part of this image. So as you can see, it is generating right now. By the way, one more thing I want to tell you is that when you generate these, it actually creates a log. So here you can see this is the log. If you open that up, it's basically an HTML file, and it will tell you the prompt you have used, the styles, and all of the information, and what did it generate. So there you go. So all of the things that we did, it will log and it will save all of that. So if you wanted to go back and see what did I use, then you can of course go ahead and check the log. So there you go, it has generated, and oh my god, it is realistic, it is really good and looks very, very real. So let's look at the second one. Both of them are very similar. Yeah, it looks really good. And then of course, if you wanted to change, you can change the texture, you can change the pixel art, anime style, fantasy style, and the things they just keep piling up, and there's a lot of possibilities, endless possibilities, and you want to keep experimenting what exactly happens and how you can make the image better, more realistic, more cinematic, and so on. So I hope you have learned something new. This was our tutorial for today. It is very easy to get started, and once you get started with it, it's very hard to actually stop it and go somewhere else, because it is so good to work with this, and there's so much possibilities around it, and there's only a few minutes, or you can say only a few seconds it takes to actually generate these realistic images, and it is very surprising and very amazing how you can do this. And all of this is for free if you have your own graphics card. I'm using the 3080 Ti graphics card. If you have a better one, you will have better speeds and so on. So this is it for today. And by the way, if you don't have a graphic card like this and you don't have all these resources, what you can do is you can use Google Colab as well. But then every time you have to install, you have to download and all that. So it is a hassle, to be honest. If you do have a hardware, the GPU, then this is the best option. Realistic images, very quick, and amazing results. So this is it for today's video. I hope you have learned something new. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next one.